Hi there, Ash here from Numisma. You're probably watching this due to the fact that your accountant has invited you to access this video in order to see how you can manage your business slightly easier from your mobile phone and in line with their processes as well. So the purpose of this video is really just to show you the mobile application, how to use it, and how simple it can be to get on top of your business's finances. Now, the screen you can see right now, it actually shows you, it gives you an insight as to your entire business. And in order to log into this, you would need to be set up as a business user on the Numisma platform. So if you haven't already got a login that you use to log into the web application, just ask your accountant or bookkeeper to share a business user license with you. And then once they share that with you, you can download the app on the App Store and you'll be able to log in and begin using this application. And it will link to what your accountant uses. So in real time, the data that they're working on will be the data you're working on, and you can collaborate really, really efficiently. Now, on the screen, you will be able to see a list of all of your overdue sales invoices based on their due dates, your invoices due within the next 30 days from today's date, and your invoices due after 30 days. So at the top here, you've got each of those different sections. And then in the second section, you've got purchases. So overdue bills. These are all of your supplier bills that have been entered that the due date is now passed, and you should really be paying them, but you may not be for cash flow purposes. And then we've got bills due within 30 days, bills due after 30 days. So it really just helps you manage your incomings and outgoings, and it's ideal to be on top of this. And then we've got pending receipts. So these are all of the receipts that you've uploaded to the web application that are awaiting bookkeeping by your bookkeeper or accountant. And then at the bottom here, we have the banking section. So you are able to view a list of all of your banks and you can switch between them. I'm actually demonstrating this on my mobile phone in real time so that you can see exactly how it works. But you can see the bank balance that is active in Numisma. So that reconciled balance is what your accountant or bookkeeper has processed so far. And then in the unreconciled balance here is essentially a list of all of the transactions that haven't been processed yet. So the two together will normally come back to what your bank balance is in the bank. Now, it may not be the case that it comes back to your bank balance purely because you have to import your transactions into Numisma in order to get accurate data. Now, if you work closely with your accountant or bookkeeper, they will be able to help you by setting up a bank feed. And by setting up that bank feed, the data will come into Numisma automatically on a daily basis. And it will mean that you will have access to real-time data, and you'll be able to see how much profit you're making in real time, what your expenditure is, what your income is, and absolutely everything to do with your business. And together with your bookkeeper or accountant, it will help you stay on top of your numbers and help you make better business decisions, because you'll know exactly how much money is coming in, how much money is going out. And that is the banking side. You can add a new bank account by selecting the plus button here. So if I select that, it will take me through the process of adding a new one. And at the top there, you've got a camera, so you can take pictures of receipts. So you can either upload one from the gallery that you took earlier, or you can take a picture in real time. So if I just take a picture of the mouse, then press OK, that then says uploaded successfully, and it will be sent to your accountant or bookkeeper so that they can process the rest. So as long as the date, the supplier, the description of what the receipt is, the amount, and if there's any VAT on it is visible, then it will be good enough for your accountant or bookkeeper to process in the system. So that is how easy your life can be as a business owner. You just take pictures of receipts, upload them, and let your accountant or bookkeeper do the rest of the work. Now, the next step here is the plus button. So by selecting the plus, you can enter sales invoices, you can enter supplier bills if you wanted to, but We wouldn't recommend doing that yourself because your accountant or bookkeeper can handle that. But if you decide that it is something you would like to do, then you can enter supplier bills, categorize them all yourself. But that would be a duplication of taking pictures of receipts. So I would recommend either taking pictures of receipts and sending them to your accountant or bookkeeper, or entering them as purchases. One or the other, not both. And then you can enter mileage claims. So if you are traveling out and about for business purposes, you haven't got a dedicated vehicle for the business, so you can claim mileage allowance. And if you're not doing that already, I highly advise you to speak to your accountant or bookkeeper about how you can claim it. But you can enter the mileage claims directly into the mobile app, so you don't have to write them on paper. You don't have to manually keep track of them. It's all done systematically within the app. You can also claim for allowances, and I would recommend speaking to your accountant and bookkeeper about them as well to know exactly what you can and what you can't claim. And then finally, we can add new customers and suppliers. So that is really useful when it comes to keeping track of your customer details, their addresses, their email addresses, their phone numbers, so that you can maintain that relationship. And I'll show you how you can have that as a separate contact book as well. And the same goes for suppliers. So if we select an invoice at the top, then it automatically selects the next invoice number. So you don't have to keep track of that manually. Numisma will do that for you. And then you can select who your customer is. So as long as you keep adding all of your new customers, entering their addresses, entering the contact information, then you can raise that invoice really quickly within Numisma. Now, on this page, if you decide that the customer you want to raise an invoice for isn't in that list, you can select the plus button and create a new customer. Okay, so I'm just going to select Homer, and then I can select the bank that I would like to be paid into. So on the sales invoice that is generated, it will state the bank details that you would like to be paid into. So let's just select Ash Test, and then we can select the invoice date, which defaults to today's date, and then we can select the due date, so when I would like to be paid by. We could go for the 23rd, the 30th, or the 1st or the 8th of July. Or any date, in fact. It doesn't have to be any of those. And then once you've entered that information, then we need to describe what should appear on the invoice. So we can select the plus button just here. So by selecting that, you can select your income type. So in your income type, you may just have sale, but you can have additional income types. I recommend speaking to your accountant or bookkeeper as to how to set them up, but they can be set up in the web application so that you can categorize your income. But you don't have to do that. That is optional. And then we can enter a description. So this could be anything, absolutely whatever your service is. So on your sales invoices, you'll have individual line items for what you're selling. So this could be a chocolate bar. And then I could say the unit price is £2.50 and I've sold 200 chocolate bars. The VAT rate on that, I can then select standard. And if you aren't VAT registered, then you wouldn't have to select a VAT rate. You don't need to worry about VAT because you aren't VAT registered. And then we can save and continue. Oh, sorry. There you go, save and continue. And then if you decide that there was another line item that you needed to add, you can select the plus button and you can go through and add another one. So this time around, we could say this relates to raisins. I'm not sure if I spelled that right. And then we can say the unit price is 0.3 and the quantity is 1,000. And this time around, we can say no VAT and save and continue. So there I've got two line items and it's calculated it as net is £800, the VAT is £100, and the gross amount is £900. So if I save that, then the invoice has been created here now. You can see the second one down, invoice 30, the amount due is £900. So in that snapshot, you can see the due date, the invoice number, and the amount due all in one row. And you can download that invoice if you wanted to download it and send it to your client on WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook, SMS, like absolutely any way you want to send it, include an email, you can download it and send it anywhere you want. And in addition to that, you can also email it directly to your client from the system. So if I select that, you have the option there to email. Now, in order to email, you would have to connect your own email address to Numisma, which you can do through the mobile app. And I'll show you how in just a second. So that is the sales side. With purchases, again, you've got a dashboard. You can see the snapshot as to who you owe money to, when it's due by, what the receipt number is, and the amount that is due. So you can see here some of the receipts have been paid. So there's no longer anything due to them. Okay. And then the final tab at the bottom here, we've got contacts. So I can see my customers are Homer, Reese Munch, Numismatest, Mosislak, and default customer. Now, if I wanted to change any of their details, I can select the pen. So I've selected the pen on default customer, and I could change that to, let's say, oh, I don't want to do that on Zoom. There you go. So let's say that is Santa Claus. And then the first name can be St. Nick, and the email address can be santa@northpole.worldwide. Phone number. There you go. And then save that. So now when I refresh, you can see default customer has changed to Santa Claus. And if I send them an email, then the to address is pre-populated with santa@northpole.worldwide. And I can enter a subject, a message, and add an attachment. And I can also call them, and it will pull through the phone number that I entered. Now, at this point, you can also switch to supplier and see a list of all of your suppliers. But that is that for the contacts book. So this is really useful in terms of segregating your personal phone book and your business phone book, because you can keep everything separate within Numisma. And then in the top right-hand corner, we have this menu. So here we can update information about our company. So if you wanted to change your email address, your phone number, your website, all of this information will appear on your sales invoices. And you've also got a logo there, which can appear on your sales invoice in the top right-hand corner. So it can all be on brand and look really beautiful. And then we've got email settings. So Numisma connects to any email provider. And this information here is SMTP details. So the easiest way to find out what your SMTP details is to Google who your email provider is. Let's say Gmail or Office 365. You can go on Google and just Google what is Office 365's SMTP details. And it will tell you that what the server is, what the SMTP port is, and then the username will be your email address, what you use to log in, and the password will normally just be your password. But if you need help with this, then your accountant or bookkeeper will know how to do this. So I recommend getting in touch with them. And if they can't figure out how to do this, then we can help your accountant or bookkeeper. We're more than happy to help in that area. So that is how you connect your emails. You can also change your password. And then finally, you can log out. So I hope you found this useful and you can see the value that this could potentially bring to your business, and just try and make your business life a little bit easier in terms of taking pictures of receipts, raising sales invoices, and doing everything from your mobile phone, essentially allowing you to run your business from your phone. And this is only going to get better with time as well. Based on your feedback that you give your accountant and bookkeeper, we really do listen to that. So we're looking forward to collaborating more in the future. And I hope you found this useful. If you do have any questions or queries, please be sure to get in touch with your accountant or bookkeeper. They'll be able to help you out. We work really, really closely with them to build the best platform possible for business owners. So really looking forward to future communications, and I hope you found this useful. I've been Ashley, and I hope to speak to you soon. Thank you. Bye.